Caitlin Clark fans have been complaining about the egregious officiating.
Caitlin has had her fair share of knocks. There's no question about it. The referees don't take care of managing that line, then players are going to cross the line.
The moment Caitlin Clark revealed her injury status,
this injury, it should be a wake-up call to the WNBA, the Players Association, the team owners, that just like that, all this fanfare, all this interest, all this newfound attention on the league can disappear overnight.
the WNBA felt it. Ticket prices crashed.
Ticket prices continue their decline.
Fans started walking away, and ratings took a brutal hit. The groin injury, now public.
Indiana Fever announced that star Caitlin Clark will be out. We know what she brings to the table.
Isn't just sidelining Clark, it's sidelining the league's momentum.
A rising tide lifts all boats. Jump on that boat and elevate.
And fans are done. They're boycotting games, canceling plans, and making it clear, no Caitlin, no interest.
You have to protect your star. You have got to protect her at all costs.
If you're 100% Team Caitlin Clark, drop a comment below and let the world know, because this league clearly doesn't get it.
She is special.
Who is this? This is the moment.
Caitlin Clark is the star player of the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark and the revolution in women's sports.
The most popular woman ever in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark's latest update wasn't just another injury report. It was a turning point. I feel good, she said, but I'm going to be day-to-day from here on out. On the surface, that sounds optimistic, but to fans paying attention, it's a red flag.
Caitlin Clark goes out with injury. First two injuries, though they were separate, they probably were like a causation correlation type of injury. And those were two separate injuries in her quad.
This isn't just about sitting out a game or two. It's about an elite athlete pushing through back-to-back injuries. First a quad strain, now a groin issue.
Caitlin Clark was once again sidelined with a groin injury,
while carrying the weight of an entire league on her back.
She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game.
She admitted it herself. I don't know if I'll be 100% for the rest of the season. That wasn't a flippant comment.
I just wonder if she's playing through a little more pain than she should.
It was an honest moment from a player who's clearly managing, not healing.
I'm starting to wonder if Caitlin Clark is struggling with her confidence.
And it's showing. Reports noted she played recent games with both her thigh and groin heavily taped.
She did have her quad taped up during the Connecticut Sun game.
Multiple insiders confirmed she was already dealing with pain during the Sun and Liberty matchups.
She subsequently underwent an MRI and was diagnosed with the strain.
Some say she likely aggravated it even further by being subbed back in during a blowout, something that never should have happened. Even WNBA legends like Sue Bird are concerned. Bird pointed out how Caitlin's forced to create nearly all her shots alone. No secondary playmaker, no relief, just constant pressure. And that's not sustainable, especially when she's logging heavy minutes on a compact schedule with added games this season. Add to that the physical targeting.
Normally, Caitlin Clark is being physically and verbally attacked by jealous WNBA players.
The relentless full-court defenses and the free-for-all officiating. And you have a recipe for exactly what's happening now. Injury after injury, and still no protection from the league. The truth? Caitlin Clark has been overused and underprotected from day one, and now the cracks are showing. Yet instead of pulling her back and allowing time to recover, the system seems built to squeeze everything out of her as quickly as possible.
The pressure that she's put on every single night to perform at the level that she does, it's inhumane, really.
The Commissioner's Cup, all-star promos, Nike deals, national broadcasts. The league is riding her momentum while ignoring the cost, and that cost is catching up. Clark isn't just sore, she's worn down. Her fans see it, her teammates feel it.
Became the first rookie with at least 25 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds in a playoff game. That was Caitlin Clark.
And most alarmingly, the WNBA still hasn't done anything about it. This isn't just about one player's injury anymore. It's about the future of the league hanging on a player who's running on fumes.
Stephen A. Smith, can the WNBA keep itself afloat while CC, as in Caitlin Clark, is out? Clark was the WNBA's Rookie of the Year last season and a first-team All-WNBA selection. So far, she's averaging 19 points and the league-leading 9.3 assists through 4 games this season.
The moment word got out that Caitlin Clark would miss games due to injury, the reaction from fans wasn't confusion or disappointment, it was rejection. A mass exodus began almost immediately. In Dallas, ticket prices nosedived by 40% overnight.
Average ticket was selling for around $200 a piece. As soon as it was announced that Caitlin Clark was missing Thursday night's game against the LA Sparkles, ticket prices in Dallas started to plummet. The uncertainty alone caused ticket prices to decline by 40%.
In Chicago, where Clark was also ruled out, seats dropped to as low as $3.
Ticket prices were circling the pooper. Tickets were selling for as low as $3.
Those sellouts that would have been if Caitlin Clark was in the lineup, those aren't going to be sellouts anymore.
Some people were offering them up for free. Others were trading them for barely used merch.
Some tickets I heard were being exchanged for Vietnamese dongs.
One reseller told his followers on social media, "I'm done. I'm not going if she's not playing." Period, and it didn't stop at ticket prices. Entire weekend plans collapsed. Hotels and bars near stadiums began reporting cancellations. One venue manager in Indianapolis even said they'd lost the rush that usually came with a fever game. Why? Because the road show had been canceled. Without Caitlin Clark, there is no event, no spotlight, just a league scrambling to fill seats again.
The road show is officially over. When it comes to the home attendance, 17,274.
It wasn't just average fans either. On platforms like YouTube and Twitter X, thousands of viewers expressed the same sentiment. "I'll be back when Caitlin's back." That's not a one-off complaint. That's a boycott, a visible, coordinated withdrawal from a league that many feel has not only mistreated Clark, but taken her for granted. As one commenter put it, the WNBA wants Caitlin's value, but they don't value Caitlin.
A rising tide lifts all boats. You jump on that tide, you jump on that boat, and elevate and use them to elevate your play.
And you can see it in the numbers. Games that once hit 2.7 million viewers with Clark are now struggling to cross 1.2 million when she's out.
Let's take a look at these 2 games. CBS, Chicago Sky. NBA TV, Washington Mystics. Let's stay there. Caitlin Clark versus the Atlanta Dream. NBA TV, 591,000. Going head-to-head against the NBA playoffs.
That's not a dip. That's a collapse. A 50% ratings drop in a matter of days.
This 2.7 number, I think is going to be hovering around the 1.25 number, 1.5 number, 50% drop-off.
That's what happens when you build your house on one pillar, and that pillar gets injured. And here's what's even worse. Insiders now believe this is just the beginning. With Clark's day-to-day status, uncertainty looms over the Commissioner's Cup and the All-Star Game. If she misses either, those viewership numbers could plummet even further. Networks are already nervous. Sponsors are whispering. Why? Because Clark is the economy. One analyst recently revealed she drives over 26.5% of all WNBA financial activity. Ticket sales, merchandise, TV deals, her presence changes everything.
Caitlin Clark, somebody who was responsible for 26.5% of all WNBA economic activity last season, including revenue from merchandise, ticket sales, and television.
There's no precedent for it. She's not just the face of the WNBA, she's its engine. And when the engine stops, the whole vehicle slows down. Even a respected financial expert projected that if Clark maintains her current growth through next season, her economic impact could surpass $1 billion.
Brewers analysis suggests that if Clark simply maintains her current momentum through an expanded 2025 season, her impact on the WNBA's economy could reach $875 million. With modest growth and continued fan interest, Brewer believes that number could exceed $1 billion.
$1 billion. Yet that billion-dollar asset has been subjected to brutal fouls, non-calls, and now injuries, while the league shrugs it off and keeps scheduling her into every national broadcast possible. What the WNBA forgot was that Caitlin Clark doesn't just sell tickets, she sells trust.
The young white girl comes along, and y'all want to sit up there and shower all of this praise and all of this attention.
Fans trust that she'll show up, elevate the game, and give them a reason to care. So when she gets hurt and the league acts like it's no big deal, when no one's protecting her, when her health seems like an afterthought.
I don't know if she's dealing with this amount of injuries if that preseason game ain't in Iowa.
Fans take that personally. And when they feel disrespected, they walk. That's exactly what's happening right now. Resellers are pulling out. Broadcasters are already adjusting coverage plans. Cities are reevaluating how much to spend on future Fever matchups. And fans, the ones who were showing up in record-breaking numbers, are now tuning out. All of this triggered not by one injury, but by how the league handled it, with silence, with spin, and with a complete lack of urgency. The message from fans is crystal clear. No Caitlin, no ticket. No Caitlin, no viewership. No Caitlin, no WNBA.
You have to protect your star. You have got to protect her at all costs.
When Caitlin Clark first stepped into the WNBA, she didn't just bring fans. She brought hope, a future, a spotlight. For a league that had spent decades in obscurity, suddenly everyone was paying attention. But instead of protecting her, promoting her, and building around her like the generational star she is, the WNBA's leadership did the opposite. They used her, they overexposed her, and when she got hurt, they tried to act like it was business as usual. The blame starts at the top, with Commissioner Cathy Engelbert.
She's number one. You can't trade her. I mean, even Ronaldo's moved around. LeBron's moved around.
Cathy was handed the golden ticket. Under her watch, the WNBA got its first true superstar with nationwide appeal. But what has she done with it? She talks about growing the league and elevating the women's game, yet every move has screamed exploitation. National TV game after national TV game. A relentless travel schedule. Back-to-back matches with minimal rest. And now we're seeing the result. The league's most valuable player is physically broken, and no one in charge seems to care. Instead of easing Clark into the professional pace, Cathy Engelbert leaned all the way in. She made Caitlin the face of the league, and then fed her to the wolves. Whether it's officials allowing excessive contact or scheduling her like a machine, the pattern is clear. Profit first, player second. And fans have noticed. Even veteran commentators are speaking out. Debbie Antonelli
has been the play-by-play voice before Caitlin Clark arrived,
who has been analyzing women's basketball for over 25 years.
We now have someone making the same assessment. Debbie Antonelli
called out the league's officiating, saying Clark has been taking quite a beating.
I think it's pretty egregious disrespect right now for our team.
She even hinted that referees are allowing too much because they're not enforcing boundaries.
Caitlin has had her fair share of knocks. There's no question about it. But also at the same time, she is at the top of the scouting report. And if you want to win the game, it's important that you limit what she can do. You take away her vision, you're physical with her when she's off the ball. You do all those things. And there's a certain line. And if the referees don't take care of managing that line, then players are going to cross the line. You guys know you're going to try to do whatever you can to get away with as much as you can until it's called out. And that means the whistle has to blow. And from Indiana's standpoint, she's been taking quite a beating. I think there's been too much chatter about it, and I do think it needs to be cleaned up.
And when officials stay silent, players cross the line. That's exactly what's been happening to Caitlin Clark all season long. Cheap shots, hard fouls, contact after the whistle, all with no consequences. This isn't about tough defense. It's about a target being placed on one player's back. And it's been allowed, if not encouraged, by the league's inaction. There was a time when protecting your star was rule number one in any successful sports league.
Austin was the one selling tickets. He's selling merchandise.
Look at the NBA with LeBron, the NFL with Mahomes. Even WWE made it clear, the moneymaker gets shielded. You don't risk the one person drawing the crowds, but here, the WNBA let Clark get battered on the court, then overworked off it. And now with her injured, Cathy Engelbert has the nerve to keep repeating the same talking points. Instead of addressing the officiating crisis, she's out here talking about not depending too much on one player. Really, when Clark is responsible for over a quarter of your league's entire revenue, when cities are only breaking attendance records because of her, when viewership doubles or halves depending solely on whether she plays, the hypocrisy is staggering, and fans aren't buying it.
WNBA rumors suggest Caitlin Clark will be among the first stars making $1 million annually. The most notable of which is, y'all already know who, the needle mover, Caitlin Clark.
So in 2024, she averaged 16.5 points per game, 4 assists, 5.5 rebounds. She shot 37% from the field and 31.8% from three. Now, if you look at her preseason in 2025, she only played 2 games in this preseason, and one was against that Brazilian national team. She played 21 minutes. She averaged 14.5 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. She shot 52.5% from the field and 50% from three-point range.
They're angry, not just because their favorite player is injured, but because they feel lied to. For months, the league paraded Clark around as its savior. She was the centerpiece of the All-Star campaign, the Commissioner's Cup, the merch sales, the media circuit. But when she got hurt, when she needed support, suddenly the silence was deafening. No statement, no accountability, no plan to address the officiating, just vague updates and PR fluff. And the media? Only a few dared to challenge the narrative. Most big outlets stayed quiet, afraid of upsetting the league. That's why independent voices online, YouTubers, podcasters, grassroots analysts have stepped in to tell the truth. Because fans want answers, they want action, and above all, they want accountability.
Caitlin Clark fans have been complaining Kat Engelbert refuses to listen.
They're not turning their backs on Caitlin. They're turning their backs on a league that refused to protect her, on executives who treated her like a marketing machine instead of a 22-year-old human being carrying the burden of an entire sport, on officials who looked the other way while she got knocked to the floor game after game. You want to know why fans are boycotting? Why ticket prices are collapsing? Why TV partners are nervous and sponsors are hesitating?
No doubt Caitlin Clark is a great story. How big of a part of the story is that for you, and is that for this book?
Caitlin Clark is way more important to the WNBA than Tiger Woods was to men's golf. We'd never seen anything like that before.
This is the greatest moment ever for the WNBA.
It's because the WNBA has shown them that even the biggest star isn't safe here. That even when you break records, bring in millions, and give everything to the league, when you get hurt, they'll just move on without blinking. But fans aren't moving on. They're watching, and they're demanding better. Not just for Caitlin, but for every player who deserves a league that values talent, protects its stars, and stops pretending that this level of mismanagement is acceptable. This could have been the start of a new era, but instead it's becoming a warning of what happens when a league forgets that its future depends on how it treats its best.
They have complained about not being treated like NBA players. Well, now you are.
The WNBA had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity with Caitlin Clark, and they're blowing it.
This league would be on life support without Caitlin Clark.
Fans aren't angry because she's hurt. They're angry because no one protected her. And now the same league that used her face to sell out arenas is watching those seats empty as soon as she's not there. This isn't just a ratings dip. It's a crisis.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT.
She signed my jersey. I'm so happy. I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball. Period.
That's nice.
And she was shooting the shit out of it.
Of course she was.
Right, so she was shooting the shit out of it. And
she's the face of the league.
Agreed.
She's the face of the league. Agreed.
Just have nothing but great things to say about who she is as a person. She's so welcoming and so warm as an individual that she can have a conversation with anybody. She's cut from the same cloth as me in that regard. You know what? Us Midwesterners, we tend to just, accept everybody with open arms. She was so kind to my family and everyone in the suite when she came to KC. So huge fans of Caitlin Clark.
It is a mad situation just all around when it comes to Caitlin Clark, because it's very clear that she is way stronger.
And unless things change, it's only going to get worse. If you stand with Caitlin, if you believe she deserves better, hit that like button, drop a comment, and let them hear it loud. You protect your stars or you lose your fans. Period.